Meanwhile, in tennis, and there's been some bad news for Andy Murray.
Bad news indeed. His recovery from hip surgery has run into problems. The Scot has yet to do any court work and has even pulled out of a couple of corporate appearances.
Some newspapers are speculating that the former world number one may not return in time for this year's Wimbledon Championships.
It was never going to be just a magic button that you push and the pain has disappeared. And I think maybe there was a time when Andy hoped that would be the case, but I think we all believe that he just needs to give it time.
It's that big stretch I saw. It's a big stretch and it's a little bit sore.
And his body at the same time isn't his own. He's got other people with vested interests. He's got people putting pressure on him, and he's got sponsors that get twitchy, and he's got media that have got an expectation on him, and kind of by his own doing, because I think he set goals for himself at the beginning of the year and publicly shared them, that he felt like he would be ready for the grass.
Walking's good. It just doesn't feel good.
Murray is not thought to have done very much at all on court in the past fortnight. Publicly, he has been targeting the grass court season for a return to the tour, but sources suggested he was ahead of schedule after an encouraging first month back in training. Now, though, there must be some doubt over whether he will be fit for the start of the grass court season.
What is the story? There is no story. What they want to do is me to say, yeah, I'm going to be ready to play Wimbledon, and then I don't play, and then it's a massive drama, like what the hell's happened, the rehab's gone a disaster. Like in situations like this, where they've got other British players to write about that are doing really well. Like why they have to try to put extra pressure on me when I'm going through a really difficult time. I don't get it. I don't have anything else to tell them except I'm rehabbing and hopefully I'll be ready. But that makes me feel better.
I think right before he had the surgery, people were questioning if he was actually going to be coming back. And then whilst, he came out and was very optimistic after the surgery publicly, I think a lot of people were like, oh, it's finished, he's over.
I'm assuming that this is the end of his career, and it may not be. It's just an awful long way back. It's a real uphill struggle from here.
With concerns now growing among fans and the tennis media about the Scots' future in the sport.
Surgery has to be considered, and with that, the risk comes that it may end your career. History in tennis shows that. Gustavo Kuerten, Magnus Norman, both had to call time in their careers after having operations on their hip.
The beginning of my career, it started with, not fit enough, doesn't work hard enough. There was articles out there that I was lazy and stuff and didn't practice hard.
Oh, it's gone again. That left thigh is gone again. Murray's physical conditioning has just dropped. This is not a pretty sight.
Injury has once again destroyed Andy Murray's chances.
Over 3 hours, Andy Murray simply had nothing left to give.
Yeah, and then it kind of moved on to basically that I was mentally weak.
It's like he's in quicksand, Murray, mentally and physically. The negative body language, the negative verbal language, does that get in his way as well?
He's lost his temper, he's lost the plot.
The way he behaves, it just is not good enough, and he won't win anything.
The other thing that always spurred him on was when anybody suggested that he couldn't do something. It was all that sort of chat. He's now lost 4 Slam finals. Is he ever going to win one?
The 74 years of hurt goes on. 75 years and counting.
As the great British drought continues.
Whether it's criticism or not, I'm using it as criticism to drive, everything that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis.
I feel like for both of us, and knowing how we've grown up and the expectations, the pressures, everything that was ahead of us, he needed that philosophy about life. He needed that kind of mindset. And I feel like that has made him tough and just made his skin so thick that he can sustain anything.
He always have been one of the most talented players that I ever saw. When he had a couple of more years on the tour, I think he became more solid mentally, no?
Andy's the type of guy, how I sense him, he goes into hard work will pay off, and he played the most amazing tennis, and this is the reaction of a champion.
When somebody with his level is really able to work with that intensity, is because he really wants to do something more, no?
Maybe it's a slightly warped mentality, but when someone puts you down or whatever, you don't always have to respond with words. That's my way of doing it with actions.
I think the tennis gods got together and said, if this young man is going to get a Grand Slam, he is going to have to really earn it emotionally, physically. Down the tee, it is long, set to Andy Murray. How about a 1 hour, 27-minute set? And we are going to a fifth set in the U.S. Open final.
One game separates him from what many feel is his destiny.
It was long.
No longer second fiddle. No longer the questions. Can he? Will he? The answer is emphatically yes.
Your 2012 U.S. Open men's champion, Andy Murray.
Tough, work hard, surround yourself with the right people, believe you can turn around matches and play through pain, play through injuries and all of that. Andy has shown that he can do that.
Every time he has faced adversity, he's always come back stronger. He doesn't give up on anything, and he's not giving up on himself with this just quite yet.